Hey, welcome back. It's the Unstuck movement. I'm your host, Rob Z. So today we're talking with the incredible Andre Paradis on the platform. We're talking masculine energy, feminine power, getting clarity in your relationship, love dynamics, how we break down in communications, and modern love chaos that is going on in our world right now. And Andre, I want to dive in right off the bat, talking about the myths that destroy modern relationships. What are some of those myths that our culture has built up that are really affecting the way we approach relationships?
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for this. Good question, huge question, and very counterintuitive, countercultural, really. The answer is, and this is what it's about, right? I'm not here to tell everybody how to live. I'm breaking down what works and what doesn't work. That's my work. So the thing that make people most confused and struggle and creates chaos, you just said it, in relationships, is the concept of 50-50. We live in a culture where we soften the men, we empower women. Beautiful, right? In the name of making even playing fields, open all the channels for the ladies. You could be everything you want in the world. Beautiful, fantastic, good for you, right? We told men to be that they're toxic. They need to water it down and be nice guys. The problem is like women don't like nice guys because nice guys don't make them feel safe. And masculine women, which you raise women to be masculine in our culture, all the way, everywhere. Masculine, go girl, boss babe, don't need no man. Right? These ladies are masculine men who are the one they want. The guys who provide, protect, cherish, give support, lead. Everybody wants those guys, traditional man, but the women are basically trained to not be traditional. And so that 50-50 idea, which seems fair on paper, in actuality, it throws everything out the window. Men don't want masculine energy women. Women don't want soft guys. So again, what works still better is a version of a traditional dynamic with a modern twist. I'm not saying going back to the 50s. That's ridiculous. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a traditional system, a yin yang of masculine and feminine dance that works with everybody who has long-term healthy relationships. By the way, in all gender, the people who are naturally, because we study the people who have long-term relationships organically, naturally, somehow they seem to know how to do it. Gay, straight, or lesbian all do the same thing. Oh, there it is. Do you know what I mean? So what works, and there's a very ABC to it. But if you go 50-50,
Good luck.
It confuses everyone. It stalls everything. And the funny thing, good luck, because like women are really confused and hurt, and guys are like, I don't want none of that. And so this is what's happening. Simple.
Yeah, awesome. I have so many subjects to dive in just off of that. We're going to go there. Before we go there, I want to welcome everybody to the platform. This is the Unstuck movement. I've created this platform because I've been stuck, and everybody else in the world at some point in life has been stuck. And you may be right now. So I want to bring people on the show who have true testimonies of breakthrough to show you how to achieve those breakthroughs. And one of the biggest places we get stuck in life is in our relationships. Yep. So we're sponsored by the Connected Leaders Academy. Check out connectedleadersacademy.com. Over 500 heart-centered entrepreneurs from all over the world helping each other grow and get better and succeed. And also brought to you by the Pro Podcaster Academy. So if you're somebody who wants to launch a podcast, you've been thinking about it for the longest time, you haven't done it yet, but you want to create a lasting impact in people's lives, you want to create success for yourself and your business, be the go-to authority in your space, and also make incredible personal and professional connections, I'd love to help you out. If you already have a platform, I'd love to help you streamline it. How do you monetize it? You can figure that out at robzwentz.com by joining the academy. Today, we have the powerful Andre Paradis with us, a relationship coach and NLP expert who helps people break free from confusing, painful relationship patterns by understanding masculine and feminine energy and the dynamics between the two. After transforming his own life and relationships, he launched Project Equinox to teach others how to create love that lasts. So I want to go to this idea about women, because can women be strong and feminine at the same time?
Can men be masculine and feminine at the same time? There's a balance there, right? So by the way, we both have both, right? But what works better is a man that primarily drives his life through his masculine, and has his feminine side is the part that I call daddy energy, husband energy, right? The sensitivities that you have to be in relationships, right? There's a different guy at work. There's a warrior at work, and it's daddy at home. There's husband at home, right? So we both have both. But if a man is too soft, too much is feminine, right? Doesn't provide, protect. He can't. He's trying, like, he's not relevant enough, right? That's not attractive to women because he can't protect her. He can't provide for her. That means that's on her, right? Those are the things that don't work. It's the same with the ladies. If you're in your feminine, you have to be in your feminine, line up with your essence and your body and your chemistry, right? To be this nurturing, loving, connecting energy. It's all about community, people related, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We need that. Us men who are warriors need this feminine connection to bring us into our bodies, to de-beastalize, I call this us, right? Because if you leave us alone, we're maniacs. We're, testosterone will make us just, be beasts. We need the feminine to bring us in our hearts, right? And so that's the magic. So a woman in her feminine has a huge amount of influence and effect on us into making us more sensitive, more connected, more human, more family driven, right? All that stuff. But if a woman's in her masculine, she's competing with us, right? And what what the culture doesn't seem to get is that masculine energy women, right, turn off masculine men. Men don't want to be around that energy. So if a woman is in my world, this is the work that I do with my ladies. Most of my ladies, 80% of my business is strong, independent, powerful women, 30 plus years old, right? Boss babe the whole time, don't need no man. And there's just, don't think about kids or marriage. They're just, busy getting themselves safe because you can't trust men, apparently, right? They're cheaters and liars. No, that's ridiculous, right? Some, I call them boys, but that's not men. Anyway, they come at me by 30 something, between 32 and 35 plus, and they realize money doesn't make them happy. Their business / career / job is killing them. They're exhausted. They're worn out. They're anxious. They're overwhelmed. They're miserable. They're lonely. And so they're like, I want to slow down. They'd like somebody to help, right? That would be a man. However, because they're so masculine, they don't know that energetically, right? They can't get a date. I mean, seriously, like beautiful women that have their shit together. I can't get a freaking date. And then if I get it, and that's always what they say. And if I could get a date, I get ghosted. I can never get a second date. What's wrong with me? And I go, honey, you're too much in your masculine, and the man that you want aren't interested in that. Ouch, right? And that's the way they've never heard that. So that's really so in my world, a true boss, right? A woman who really gets this, how life and the world works. You can be strong, independent, all you want, all day long, right? They're like, sure, you go, girl, right? We're not going to undo who you are. That's ridiculous. But this side has been neglected, and this is what man is looking for, and what they're attracted to, and what they're magnetized to. So this makes you invisible to man, even though you're independent. But like when you realize you want some of this. So my work is like, you could be all this all day long. I want to be crass now, but I says, if you want to attract masculine men, which are the ones you could respect and you want, who will actually step up, provide, protect, cherish, give support, lead, pay, right? You have to leave your balls at work. You have to leave your balls at work. I'm serious, right? Because mine find that super irritating. So women go on dates and they go, I'm a CEO and I'm going for the thing, and they put their balls in his face, thinking that makes her attractive and valuable. And to a feminine man, that'll be, oh yeah, she's gonna work her butt off for us, and I'll be comfortable, hitching on her. A masculine man find that very irritating. Masculine men are looking for feminine energy women. So your balls have to stay at work, and you have to show up. If you don't know how to make this is the work, right? You have to recalibrate when you're in the world. So you become visible and magnetic and interesting to masculine men. The ones that you want you to be feminine. Otherwise, they don't care. Right. So I'm going to say this, like anthropologically, instinctively, get this, you'll relate to this. Men have no instinct to help other men. Right. He's supposed to handle his shit. He's supposed to build his own life. Right. I'll help you if you're my buddy, but I don't have an urge to help him, get his life together. However, we have this huge urge to protect women and they're feminine. Right. Because it's so precious. So again, if you're a masculine energy woman, you disappear for our rate. We don't see you. We don't care. We don't respond. We don't react. And you think, what's wrong with me? Overcalibrated. It's all energy. It's not gender. It's not masculine. It's energy, which you bring that is opposite of who he is, right? Everything in nature is polarized, right? There's the yin yang, there's black and white, right? There's masculine, feminine. Everything in nature that flourishes, that multiplies in every aspect of the planet is polarized.
Hmm.
right? So this is the magnetism that is necessary for the energy to keep going. So if we're going to do this with men and women, because we're smarter apparently than nature, it doesn't work, and nature wins in the end. Like, women are miserable, guys are like, I don't care. It's like, so we can't go against nature. I'm just saying, that's all. It's not my
That's a great
opinion.
answer. Well, the reason I asked that question in the first place is because I'm married, my second marriage, and my wife and I have been figuring this out. I've always known I've been much more of a sensitive guy for sure, most of my life, right? Still am.
Yep.
And my wife was always, she's always been more headstrong, assertive.
Yep.
So like our roles are kind of reversed, right? So we've
Yep.
come together and we find we butt heads in those areas where I can be too passive, she can be too assertive,
Yep.
and we're learning how to flip those roles. And so she's been calling to me, and just I'll tell you, man, just over the past couple of months, it's really been cemented. I mean, not that I didn't get it before, but I really get it now. Is like me being the protector and the provider of the family is what I have to be. And when I don't do that, or when it's interesting when I show any sorts of signs of kind of freaking out, like, oh, this isn't
Yep.
working or whatever, in business or whatever it might be, I see my wife lose confidence in that. And then she feels she has to take over that
Yep.
masculine role. And that makes her resent me. Right.
Yep.
So because she doesn't want to do that, but that's what
Right.
she feels like she has to do because she has to protect herself and save herself.
Yep.
And so we're in this really, I mean, I love talking to you about this, man, because I see that balance and how clear it is. And when a guy doesn't step up and take hold of that masculine energy that he needs to take hold of, because that's who he's created to be, when he doesn't do that, that polarity switches and it's a complete turnoff on both sides, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What happened is that women, if you show a sign of, too much softness, too much weakness, right? And of course, it's not that we don't have our own problems as men, right? But you don't throw that at your wife or your mother or another girl, right?
Yeah.
Women, only men can help men with their men problems. That's why men need men in their lives to be vulnerable with, and men will support you and say, okay, get your shit together. How are you going to do it? Right? That's how men do it.
Yeah.
But if you go cry to your wife, right, you literally appear weak, and instinctively, it's not on purpose, she doesn't mean to, but instinctively, if you're weaker, she has to man up. Right? It creates 6 times the stress in her body that it does for us to man up. Like they're not wired for this. And all of a sudden, if she's looking down at you as opposed to looking up at you, she'll lose respect. It's over. So if you do too much of that nice guy shit, excuse my French, right? The women don't feel safe with you, and they'll find some other guy to make you feel safe, because if you don't have it, this is too much for her.
Yeah.
And
that's really interesting,
right?
Because you talked about there not being like equality in relationships, and I would think to myself, well, I'm supposed to, if I'm having trouble with this, I got to go to my wife and talk to her about it. And whenever I do that, it's now if I do it in a way that is measured and I've put the time into, like, I'm approaching her with a plan and action along with the thing I'm complaining about, that's a different story. But if I just vent, like if I vent like she vents, it doesn't work out the same way.
You'll kill her. She will literally look. I lost my cat just a little while ago. I had this cat. I found her on the roof 13 years ago, whatever. The cat died, right? It was old. So we go to the vet, and we had to put her down, like, really. So the vet gives us a minute with the cat before he comes in and kills the cat, right? This is me, my wife, and my daughter, right? I found the cat. This is my cat, right? So as I'm saying goodbye, I start crying like a girl, right? This is a big emotional thing. I guess, like, I was devastated. As I lost it, I saw my wife stiffen up. She's also losing the cat, but to watch her man in the space of collapse for just even a moment, she stiffened up. She couldn't cry. She was like this rigid, like, right? Her instinct goes, oh shit, he's losing it, right? Oh my God, what next? You know what I mean? So as I come back, she softened up again, but like, this is how much we respond to each other. So showing witness to your girl, your wife, your right? Eventually, and women say, I want a man who's vulnerable and open up and share his feelings with him. What?
Yeah, so explain that a little bit, right? Because I mean, because women do enjoy a guy who opens up, right? When you can talk about things. Well, I'm asking you this, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it good that as a guy? Because I feel like I'm pretty emotionally available as far as, like, I can kind of talk about anything that's going on and process it and work through it. And my wife, that really benefits us that we can both talk about those things.
Absolutely.
But there's got to be a but there. So what's the but?
Well, the but is if you go too far, really, honestly. So, like, you could go to your wife. Get this: my wife is amazing because as a man, I'm logical, I plan, blah blah blah, right? But sometimes we get stuck. I don't know if I should do this or this. Like, I'm not really sure if I should, right? So, as I'm managing everything that I'm managing, right? What's appropriate, which actually is a good dynamic with between women, is I can go to my wife and go, look, I have this going. I'm not sure if I should do this or this, right? And because she's a woman, her brain works completely differently. She'll have different ideas. Like, she'll come up with some brilliant shit sometimes that my boy brain cannot even fathom, right? But what I did is I'm asking her to help me with this decision or this situation, right? So now she becomes my supporter. She's not taking my masculinity away, right? She supports, and her input makes it feel good and important and valuable, and and they go, wow, God, that's a great idea. My goodness, why did I think of this? Thanks, babe. Phew, and off I go. That's the appropriate dance. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah, so
if you collapse, I'm sorry, let me finish. But if you collapse and start like wigging out and start complaining, oh my God, what are we gonna do? 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 I don't know how to do this. Right? Right? She's gonna start telling you what you should do. Now she's in her masculine. Now she's your mother, right? And now she looks down at you. And like I said, do this on a regular basis. A woman really, honestly, instinctively, again, it's instinct. It's not really a thought process. It's energy dynamic. Instinctively, if she can control you, she's the one that has to lead you. You can't protect her. And this is when women like just want to get away from us because you can't protect. Like I'm like her instinct is I need a guy who's got his life together to get support, like to protect me. If she can't control you, she's driving you. You're weak.
Yeah.
And now again, they don't want to lose us, but they lose respect.
Yeah.
Now they want to move on.
Yeah, man, it makes perfect sense. And when you talk about it like this, it's logical. It logically makes sense. And I'm glad that you're doing the work that you're doing, and people need to hear this kind of stuff because I've experienced both sides of it, and it is so true. Your wife being the supporter. I mean, I'm a Christian, right? So the word in the Bible is helpmeet. Your wife is your helpmeet. They help you, right? So it's supporting you. It's not leading you. They're not the leader. You're the leader. The man is supposed to be the leader in that dynamic. And so the more you understand that, it's like, oh, whenever I step up, and any guy out there who struggles with being a leader, who struggles with that concept, try it and see what happens.
Amen.
Like, start to put it into practice and see how things change in your life. It's powerful. I really want to know your story around this. Okay, so we got to pause for a break real quick.
Sure.
I want to know how this became what you do. Obviously, there's a breakthrough in this story for your own personal life. I want to find out what that is. We'll talk about it in 1 minute. Are you struggling to make consistent, valuable content for yourself? Do you want to have an efficient and effective way to create content that attracts the people that you want to connect with in life, the people you want to build relationships with in business? Do you want to be the go-to authority at what you do, at what you're great at? Would it be helpful for you if you had a platform that connects you to incredible people in your industry? The kind of platform that gets you leads and lands you clients without you having to beat down anybody's door or blow up anybody's inbox. Whether you're already creating content or you're desiring to start and it's something that's been kind of burning inside of you for a while, I urge you and encourage you to check out the Pro Podcaster Academy. Get started right now. Join the waitlist at robzwentz.com.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world globally. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, join the Connected Leaders Academy today. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
So, Andre, loving this conversation. So good, so important. How did this end up being what you do? What had happened to you that led you on this journey?
Okay, so I'm trying to make that a short story because it's a novel, and it's layers. But I ended up in high school. I went to a private high school, and at 15 or 16 years old, I forget the cusp. I ended up in a ballroom class because a girl asked me to help. You have to sign as a couple because you could sign up for class, right? Like, I was a swimmer. She's like, "Do you want to do ballroom dancing with me? I need a partner." I'm like, "Huh? Cute little thing, sure." So I find myself 16 years old or 15, I forget. In dance, I've never been in a dance class in my life, right? So I remember holding the girl in my arms, teacher on my right, and everything that I saw, I could just do. Like, it was kind of bizarre. Like, it was bizarre. It was, I realized I had a gift for this, which is, I don't know where it came from. I had no idea. I made it a career. I literally made it a career. To my parents' demise. What are you going to do for a living? Dance? Right? Well, I worked my way from Quebec, Canada, Quebec City, all the way to Los Angeles, where I danced with Michael Jackson, Prince, Paula Abdul, Julio Iglesias. Like, I went to the 1%.
Wow.
And then, of course, my family took the credit for that. Oh, you got that from me, my mom says. I'm like, really? What happened to the... Okay, whatever. So that was phase one of my life, right? And so dancing has always been part of my world. Always, 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 right? Ballroom dancing. So if you look behind me, my wife and I ballroom dancing. This is how we met. This is how we connect to this day. We take a dance class, private dance class every Sunday, and then go on a date. This is how we maintain ourselves. This is how we stay connected. Because life could be disconnecting, and you know this, especially if you have children in the world and business and life. And anyway, so I was also the whole time in personal development, because I was my family origin was bizarre, and I didn't know who I was, why I was here. Like, there was a lot of confusion for me. So personal development, just trying to get my life together. Why am I here? Literally, was the question. Why am I here? Right. So in the personal development world in Los Angeles, you know, it's a huge community. It's also a very small community, right? You keep running into the same people. So I was in a workshop, of course, in San Jose about business. On the way flight back to Los Angeles, this was the last time I thought life was random, by the way. I just thought I was a lucky guy. This was like the last, like, this is not accidental. So we're on a flight, 200 people on the plane, right? Three seats. I end up sitting with a couple that I met doing the workshop. I'm like, what are the odds? The three of us sitting together, right? Yeah, and then so during the flight, the lady says to me, what do you do next weekend? I go, next weekend I'm free. Why? She goes, you want to come to a workshop? It's on me. I'm like, of course. Because I'm a workshop head and I'll learn something, and she's inviting me for free. Like, dude, right? And I'm free. Then I asked the question, what's the workshop? She goes, oh, it's called Understanding Women. Oh, I remember thinking, like, really? And again, without arrogance, my life with women has always been easy for me. I've always attracted sweet, sweet, sweet women, like my whole life. So I didn't do the crazy stuff my friends did, the confusion, the scream, right? I attracted, you meet my wife, you go, oh my God, wow, no kidding. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what I attracted. So now I'm going to spend a weekend understanding women, right? Oh man, like, I got this, but I couldn't explain it. And that's just my experience. Anyway, so I went there kind of backwards. I went there. I went because I said I would, right? I walked an airport at LAX, one of the big hotels. Walk in the space thinking it was going to be cute. 400 people in the space. Oh, wait, something's going on here. Like, instantly you could tell, like, not cute, but not cute. And all I could tell you is over the course of the workshop, I slipped off my chair about 7 times. And the things that I was learning about women, how they operate, why they think things personally, how they're constantly aware of their physical state, like one after the other. It was like my brain at the end of this workshop was all over the wall, like exploded. What happened in that moment, I realized I knew nothing about women, which was unbelievable, right? But yeah. Second is that meant I knew nothing about my wife, and that was dangerous for me, right? I have 2 little kids. Right, we've been together like about close to 10 years. We're not in trouble. She's amazing, blah blah blah. But I realized I knew nothing about her, and I know nothing about how she processes stuff. And what I do to her, that she thinks I'm doing on purpose, and I'm not, because it's obvious to a woman that it got what I say, what I don't say, what I do, what I don't do. All of that can hurt her feelings. Yeah. Why she thinks he's personally right, and the times anyway. So, and I understand I come from a family where all my siblings are separated, divorced 2-3 times. So I have my life, I have my kids, I have my family, it's working. And I realized I don't know anything about her. Like, that to me, the liability was too big to consider. So that's when I went into the world. So that company, I took all their workshops, and then I started assisting them in order to be in the space again, to hear it again with different. So it's like, and the more I learned, the more I realized how much I didn't know. And that's how this whole thing started 18 years ago, in the name of just us trying to make sure that we weren't going to be like a statistic, because I didn't know. it became this full-on blown. Like people started asking, like it's just was. So here we are, out of like a moment on an airplane that changed the course of my life and our marriage.
I love that, man. What changed about you as a guy, like as a man? How did you start to change what you did?
I was because of an artist, right? I tend to do like you just said. I was probably too sensitive, put things on her without even meaning to, right? Sort of like throw her to masculine, which is not her nature, because she would have to pick it up because I wouldn't, right? That was, so I was in my world. There's 4 types of men. There's also 4 types of women, and that was what I call a guy. So I'm not a boy, but I'm a guy. I'm kind of caught between a man and too soft.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and realize what it causes her and how much that stresses her out. And we talked about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the world of dancing, in ballroom dancing, there's no equality. This yin yang is complementary, right? I lead, she supports the lead. If she tries to help me lead, I get the elbow to the nose or the knee to the groin. That doesn't work. Right, so it's not a dictatorship, because actually as much as I lead, I have to lead her just like a relationship. I have to lead her with sensitivities. Because actually, I could hurt her. I could crank her arm. I could actually, like dislocate her shoulder if I'm a brute, right? Which means she's not going to want to dance with me, right? Just the same in the relationship. If you don't have that sensitive energy, you're a leader, a strong leader, but you have to be sensitive. Otherwise, she won't want to be with you. Relationships are the same. So for my wife, in order to allow me to lead her, because she has to feel safe that I'm not going to hurt her. Beautiful, simple, right? Makes complete sense. I have to lead with sensitivities. We're totally connected. Everything she does gives me back. I'm aware of, and back. It's beautiful dance. On the other side, now that she is able, she feels safe with me. She can relinquish control, slip into being vulnerable to my leadership, knowing she's safe, which throws her instantly in her feminine. And now she radiates, she shines, she's smiling. No one's looking at me. They're all looking at this beautiful thing that together we created. But a woman in a feminine is just magnetic. It's fantastic, right? So her allowing me to take on a little dance, on an adventure on the dance floor, throws her in her feminine glory. And if you've seen ballroom dancers, it's absolutely freaking beautiful to watch. Well, these are the terms of relationships, right? Leaderships with sensitivity, so she can be vulnerable, safe, feeling safe, and really give you the part that a woman gives. Together, my strength's different than her strengths, but together we're unstoppable, right? So the dynamic of dancing, the metaphors are fantastic. She's not, by the way, as a supporter, she's not weak. She's not weaker. She's not below me, right? It's different. She's doing everything I'm doing backwards in high heels and a dress. It's not easier. It's different.
Yeah.
But together, anyway, so I could do this all the time. That's the magic of it all.
Oh, that's good. I love that. Let me. So I'm this is kind of just a curious question on my end. So I've taken quite a few personality tests, and I know this about myself. My decision making, my decisiveness is very low, and so I look at that on paper, and I'm like, yeah, right, I know, but I know my wife wants me to be more decisive, make the decisions, and so in that role, I'm like, okay, but I really struggle with that. That's something I really, I don't know. It's not that I can't do it. It takes me, when I come to a decision, I know it's the right one because I've taken a lot of time to think about it. But whenever you're in a relationship, there's not all that time to make the time to think about it. What do you recommend in a situation like that to work on becoming more assertive, making decisions faster?
Well, if you understand what it's doing to your wife first, that's a kind of a shot in the arm, right? So she wants you to be decisive. She wants you to lead. She wants you to make the decisions, right? And sometimes you go, is that too much for you, babe? Right? So you can check in. But women want to be led. They don't want to lead. It kills them. They're not wired for this. It stresses them out. And if she makes the wrong decision and you're dissatisfied, now she's angry because you put it on her, but she doesn't do it right? This is what doesn't work. Yeah. Women like to follow a strong lead, and then the more you lead, the more she can relax in her feminine. She's there for support. She's there for advice. She's there for, helping you make the decision. But you just gotta do it. Decisiveness, taking action, and leading makes her relax. So if you're teeter-tottering, whatever the word is, that's not English. But I mean, don't share that with her. Just figure it out for yourself and then make a decision.
Just do it.
Just do it.
That's the easiest advice. Yeah, it's something I've been really trying to do. Is like, okay, I'm teetering here. I'm just going to pick something. I'm just going to go with it, and then I can assess that later on. But it's just the muscle, right? The mental muscle of doing it.
Now, get this. The good news with this is, if you make the wrong decision, that's why we're indecisive, right? Life will show it real quick. Boom, that's not it. They go, oh wow, okay, so pivot, right, and take the second choice. So it's simple, really. But if you're soft, you don't make a decision, you don't move. There's no feedback from life to tell you it's a wrong decision. It's right. Like if you end up thinking about it too much, there's no action. Everything goes flat. Nothing happens. So I always say, forget it. So left or right, pick one. Yeah. Use your intuition, and as soon as you go, if you hit a wall, you go, okay, that was wrong left. I mean, I should have taken the left, and then you can pivot. Yeah. But there's direction in that. There's action. There's movement. Right? Action begets action. Right?
Yeah. Execution's the only way anything gets done. You got to execute. And so I guess I know this, but it's like eye-opening to like really process it. Like, yeah, right. I'm going to make the decision, and it doesn't. I think for me, it's a fear of failure. Clearly, I don't want to do the wrong thing. But
yes,
and I know this. I teach people this. Is what I do in coaching. But when it comes to our relationship, it's like a different story. It's like the only way to get to where you need to go is to make decisions, and they're not always going to be the perfect one, but they're going to get you to move. And getting you to move is the key.
The point. And again, and life will show you, oh, that was not really right. That's like, so an example, my son, he's an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. He's watching me do this all day long, right? I work out of my house. He was watching me do this all day long, helping people. Dad, I want to help people. So he thought he got some training in sales, and he was going to start his own business as a life insurance guy. Mm-hmm. He's 24 years old. Limited contact, right? Whatever. But I mean, he thought this was a way to start his own business, right? To basically build something and help people.
Yeah. 5
months into it, Dad, this is the worst thing I've ever done. These are not my people. I'm not helping. I'm just selling people crap. Do you know what I mean? All they care about is the money, right? Like he's trying to live through like helping people. So like he spent thousands of dollars training to be a salesperson, right? Boom, to hit the wall completely. 5 months into it, like his whole excitement about becoming an entrepreneur, like hard. I'm like, beautiful. Now pivot. And it took a minute to recover because he was really bummed out because he really thought it was going to be it. But that's like, but he took action. Now he knows that's not dope, right? And that's beautiful. That life will show you is what I'm saying. But if you don't move, you're stagnant, you're confused. Right? There's no direction. There's no input from anywhere, the world, the universe, call it whatever, right? Or your life. And the woman watching this, that doesn't make you sexy. Mm-hmm. That does not make you sexy or attractive, right? Like it makes you the guy who's really just kind of is too passive. Yeah. Nothing's happening. That'll freak her out. And then she's going to try to close the gap.
That's where we've ran into that spot. And I'm like, and earlier in my life, I mean, this obviously happened all throughout my life, and I didn't even realize it was happening or why it was happening or what was happening. But now that I see it, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I have to. This is what I have to do. It's what I'm called to do, and it's making the uncomfortable comfortable, just getting used to it. So, thank you for that advice, and that is clearly, obviously, pretty blatant. The answer, even as I ask it, I'm like, well, yeah, God, that's what you have to do. It's just that stepping into it and embracing it. I wanted to ask too, I find this really curious. You talk about how early sex can kill the building of a healthy, long-term loving relationship. And man, talk about countercultural for the world we live in.
Absolutely.
Talk about early sex. Why is that such a huge issue?
Okay. So this is based in male's instinct and anthropology, right? Nothing I'm talking about is my opinion. There's the research on this, but get this. If a guy was, so let me show you what's typically normal in our culture, right? You go on a date, it goes well. You're on a second and third date. I like you, you like me, right? By the fourth date or so, often we'll step into intimacy thinking that we start a relationship. However, for males, it's the more masculine, the more that's in place and evident, right? It kills their trust in the fact that she's virtuous and wife material. It's that simple. It's not a thought process. It's like, okay, so I got her, right? And then some guys will go into like, I wonder who else has been in here after 3 dates.
Mm-hmm.
Like she becomes like untrustworthy. Seriously, that's what they say, right? To build a life with. If I had to just buy dinner, anyway, my point is, if you go too fast, thinking women will think the intimacy will start the relationship. For most men, it kills it. So another way I say it, right, is if you get him by the penis first, you never get his heart. And that's factual. There's data on this as well. If the guy likes you 4 weeks in, because he likes you, right, that's why it's working. But the moment you get, this is crazy, the moment you have sex with a man, his amount of liking you stops right there. You can never like you and grow fonder of you from that moment on. That's why you have to wait, because you want him to be all in and think you're the cutest, most amazing woman in the world, right? He'll take you off the market, be my girlfriend, right? Then you can cross the line. So you do too fast, which is everywhere, and women don't understand. Men just want sex. Well, you keep giving him sex. Yeah. And he can respect you when you give him sex too early. And he goes, okay, next. Okay, next. And then we have this world where men expect women to put out right away because that's the new normal. But yeah, and that does not build. You can't build with that. It's period.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. And what does it do to the guy?
It's literally, and I'm constantly challenging this, right? I'm always trying to like disprove what I'm teaching.
Yeah.
Right. You have a question there? You have something on
you? Well, yeah, I was going to say, what I meant to say was, what does it do to the guy whenever the woman makes him wait? Well, how does that, for guys who have never experienced that and who think they have to get it right away, or that's the end game. Yeah. What does it do to the guy whenever that's elongated?
All right. So there's pretty much two different types of men. There's a guy who just wants to have fun and wants to play with women, don't want to take care of them, don't want to marry them, don't want to raise their children, don't want to be responsible. Those are the players. Right. And you can say there's a lot of players out there. So if as a woman, you're trying to build something with a man, but you're dealing with a player and you say, I don't have casual sex until I know where this possibly be going, this relationship. I know we have planned for us in the future, but I'm looking to be married, or I'm looking for, right, whatever. The guy who's a player is going to go, see ya, right? Which is good for you. Because if you want to build something with a man, those guys you have to filter out real quick because they all look the same and you don't know their intention. Now, that same conversation with a guy who's, leaning in, testing you really to see if you're going to break. Mm-hmm. So he can tell his friends he got lucky, right? As opposed to, right, you know what? I don't have casual sex. I see you. We have chemistry. It'd be really fun. I really want to. However, I don't know where this is going. I'm not going there with you. I don't have casual sex with anybody. Right? A guy who wants to build, who's looking for a wife, boom, you just went up in status. And so this is the part that I teach that's instinctual to men. Men respond to that. The ones who want to build freaking love that boundary. They freaking love it, and they respect it because they can respect her as they get to know her more and more and see if we're actually compatible long term. It's very simple, right? But women are the gatekeepers, and if you don't keep the gate, the guys just use you as a rotation.
Sure, yeah. I mean, they just take over. Yeah, man. It's. I mean, obviously, it's obvious, but the culture we live in, it's so backwards. It's crazy. Like it's so flipped upside down that it's almost laughable.
It is, and it's confusing to everybody, right? And everybody's just using each other, and women are like, how come guys don't step up? I mean, well, you don't have any boundaries around that, so why would they? And they all, either they expect you to put out, or they're like, I'll tell you this. So I'm constantly researching. I'm constantly trying to prove myself wrong, right? The stuff that I teach, I want people to say bullshit, right? And so I'm always interviewing people they don't even know. I'm just seemingly just talking, right? God helps whoever's sitting next to me on the plane, Lord Jesus, right? But one of my men around me, I do a lot of men's work, and this guy's like 29 years old, entrepreneur, makes money, blah 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 blah, right? And he's plays with women. Most guys naturally, women don't like to hear this, but I suggest the same thing with women. When you're looking for your person, you date multiple, right? You have to get to know each other slowly, right? So this guy's getting three girls at the same time, looking for the one. He's 29 years old. He's now looking for the one, right, in Los Angeles. Okay, so I'm interviewing him, right? So what's happening? And so he doesn't know. He thinks I'm just talking, and I'm curious, right? So I go, so like, who are you dating right now? 3 girls. 3 girls. I'm like, okay, standard, right? He's shopping. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right. And he goes, I go, are you sleeping with him? He go, well, one I've been sleeping with about 3 months. Right. But I'm getting bored with her because, it's just sex. The second one just started having sex with her. Right. And it's kind of fun because it's new and fresh. You know what I mean? But this one's already like on the way out. This one just started and he's having fun. Right. The third one is not having sex with him.
Mm-hmm.
And guess which one he likes the most? Because he's looking for the one. Right. This chick has boundaries. She can say, don't really know you well enough. Right. So now he's completely enthralled with this girl who has boundaries. He's looking for the one. If he was looking to hook up, it's fine. Right. Just keep doing it. Anyway, 2 months later, because I run into him here and there, and I go back into interview mode. Again, this is a 29-year-old, right? Because it's not generational. This is man's instinct. This is how it works if you're a regular male. So I go, so what happened with the ladies? How's it going? So first one eliminated, bored. Second one eliminated, bored. Third one, right? He broke. He goes, so what happened? She liked her a lot. I go, yeah, I broke her. She gave in. I said, well, now what? You really liked her, right? He goes, no, she's like the others. And now he's looking for the one.
Right.
This is what doesn't work. And it's not generational. It's not because I'm an old guy. It's how male instincts work. If you want men who want to build with women are looking for virtuous women.
Yeah.
One of my trainers, Dr. Pat Allen, which is one of my mentors, who's incredible. She's a family child therapist for 48 years. I trained with her one-on-1, 1-on-3, if you want to say, for like 3.5 years. Taught me everything that her business taught her and being a therapist. And she'll say like this: men marry virtue, not vaginas. That's what I'm saying. Like a man who wants to build with a woman is not interested in having sex with her very quickly and actually loves the fact that she has boundaries. And that's what makes her feel safe, makes him feel safe to build with. But in our culture, that's all out the window. And people like literally, women are like, where are the good guys? Well, the good guys don't play around with loose women. They don't build with loose women. They just don't, right? So I'm not saying, so I'm just like, that's the problem. And we think that's the new normal. That's what's not working.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And we got to come to the end of this episode, but I'm thinking, man, it's really interesting because if you're a guy, I mean, I would say in almost every single guy circle when you're young, I mean, like to be the guy holding out or not wanting to do that, who's looking for the one, I mean, you get ridiculed, right? Unless you get with the right guys who don't, or also kind of think the same way, but that's super rare. That's super rare. So how do you even like keep the mindset? I'm thinking of like teenagers, guys in their 20s, right? That's a hard mindset to keep and hold on to when everybody else around you thinks that you're gay or something, right? I mean, for lack of a better term, right? Like that's what ends up happening. They start making fun of you because of how you are.
I'm gonna say this, right? Young guys, teenagers, guys in their 20s, right? Part of finding out who they are is the kind of women they conquer. That's part of it, identity building.
Yeah.
I can get this kind of girl, I can't get that kind of girl, right? Right. So there's a rite of passage in that, which is in some level terrible because that's how we ruin women. Because young girls at 16 want to find the man to marry. We at 16 need to get laid 3 times a day because the hormones are doing that. So we'll say anything to get laid, right? So that's the norm. And then that would destroy a lot of women who like men are pigs and you can't trust them. And right, they'll say anything. Right? Yeah, well, that stage of life tends to be a shit show. And it's hurtful, but again, it's a rite of passage for young men, right? And the ones who can't do it kind of feel left out. And again, it's they stay soft, they stay kind of questioned, they don't know who they are, they don't know how to do it, right? I'm just saying. Now, what happens is the development of men that is normal is we're gonna play around, we're gonna have fun, but by the age of 27-ish, 27 to 29. Right? When you spend your time playing with women and spending time and money doing that and neglecting your business, neglecting your business life, your money, your resources, right? It happened to me at 27, right? I turned 27 years old. I'm like, God, I'm going to be 30 in 3 years. What the hell am I doing? Right? And what happened is my focus, instead of playing with chicks, which is really fun, but wasting time, energy, and money, like, okay, let's get serious so I could be relevant in the world because we all want to be relevant. That means discipline yourself, handle your life, step in, conquer your fear, build your character, build your confidence, then typically money comes with that, and now you're sexy to women. So we have to build ourselves, right? So for most men, like the development of our character, 27 to 29, men stop playing with women and want that one to build with. So I understand the youth and the urges in that, but there's a normal growth for most men. Some don't ever get there, by the way. That's not 100%. One of my brothers has never done that. One of my brothers is still playing with 3 girls at the same time that are like a quarter of his age because he's old now, but he's got money and he impresses them with the Corvette. Okay, whatever. So it's not, some guys never get over it, but natural males, natural masculine men, naturally kind of end up wanting to find the one. They got my friend, the man I'm talking about, was 29 years old, perfectly on point with his development of finding himself, building a life, and looking for a wife. Because these guys who provide, protect, and have their lives together want to provide and protect. These are the guys who, on the other side of success, have to discipline themselves and pushing to be relevant in the world. That's how you get respect from the world, and both men and women. The tougher your journey was, the more people go, wow, good, look at you, right? This comes with success. And these guys who are traditional, they want wives, they want children, they want a legacy through their children and families. They want to leave a business behind sometimes. But the point is they build a kingdom, put their arms around all of it and go, look what I did. That's what traditional men want. That's what masculine men want. Right? Now, in our culture, men are still expected to be traditional, but we teach women to refuse to be traditional. So masculine men want feminine women. No, you can't tell me what to do. And this is where men go, see ya. Okay, girl. Babe, way to go, boss. I'm a boss. And you go, cool, bro. Like, men don't care. Do you know what I mean? They're looking for the feminine essence. So again, it's not my opinion. This is really what I see every single day, and that's the research.
It's truth, man. You can't fight the truth. You can ignore it.
Saying.
You can ignore the truth all day long, but you can't. When you see it, it's undeniable. So I thank you, Andre, for the work you do, and also for sharing all this, because it's so valuable. It's so important for people to hear. If they want to find out more about you, connect with you, they can do that. You host a clarity event. They can go to your website, projectequinox.us/clarity_event. The link is in the notes. What can they expect if they go there?
Well, clarity event is really what I decode. This is an introduction to my work. I do it once a month for people who are newbies looking for information, right? So in that, I teach 3 secrets, some of the stuff we just talked about. 4 types of men. 1, you have to avoid at all costs if you want to build something. Having a male in front of you doesn't mean you have a man in front of you. It's very easy to trick the ladies, and the boys and the players could trick you so quickly, but these are the ones to avoid. All right, so 4 types of men, 4 types of women. 2 at the bottom you have to avoid if you want to build with a woman. If you want to play, I don't care, right? But I teach how to build long-term relationships. All right, the 4 things you have to build a long-term relationship, and love isn't one of them. It's a byproduct. Interesting, right? Like, it's very clear what works. We know what works. And then also how men and women communicate. That's your work. Men and women communicate completely differently, and we really don't get it because we look at each other. I speak English. You hear the words come out of my mouth, so we're communicating, right? Women have a different filter for what comes at them, and we have a different filters when they speak to us. And we don't know that. We really truly have no clue of that. So we do this all the time. And, now you're a jerk and you miscommunicated. I can't believe you said that. I was like, well, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. How'd you get there, right? Like, this happens all the time. So it's another layer of how different we are, and having the radar on her way of communicating and the words that she uses and how, and then his. And when you understand the other side, like, oh, now you can catch it, right? And then stop the confusion, the madness, and the frustration. That's my work. So that event, we go into these 3 kind of topics. And
cool.
Then, that's one. But I'm also in all social medias. So if you follow me, I'm all over, either under my name, Andre Paradis, or Project Equinox. I'm all over the place. My website is projectequinox.net. So, and .us is for the event. .net goes to my website, and there's blogs. I mean, I do podcasts 3 times a week. There's a lot of stuff for you to listen to. There's blog anyway. So, and but I have 2 gifts for you listeners, if I may.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Is that cool? So I used to have my own podcast, and I notice in podcasts, there seems to be two types of listeners. So this is why there's two gifts, right? So the people who like kind of just started to poke around as what's this masculine feminine thing? How come this is so different? Like people who are starting to, I call them information seekers, right? So we'll let the audience qualify themselves. But if you're an information seeker starting to chew up that work and trying to figure out, you know, how it works, why it works, this is for the ladies, the first one. So if you go directly to my email, which is Andre Coaching, the number 1 at gmail.com, right? And in the top subject box, just write Irresistible Book. I will send you for free a copy of my book called, are you ready? The 5 Feminine Qualities High Value Men Find Absolutely Irresistible. This is not my opinion. This is my work with men. This is man speaking, ladies. It's a 30-page book, right? It's a workbook, so you have to fill it out. So I'll send you a digital copy and you print it and play with it. You know, this is man speaking, ladies, and it has nothing to do with what you think it has something to do with it. It's not your height. It's not your hair color. It's not your butt. It's the energy that you bring that turns us towards you and then magnetizes us towards you. Written by man, right? Again, I sell it on my website. You get it for free. Andre Coaching 1, Irresistible Book. I'll send you a copy. Gift number 1 for information seekers, and you'll understand what I'm up to. The other type listeners, I call them like the action takers, right? People were like, the stuff resonated, like you kind of did, right? Like, oh shit, right? Like, wow, okay, this lands, that's true. If you resonate and understand that we could decode all of this. So Andre Coaching 1 in the subject box, write talk now. I'll send you a link to my calendar. You book yourself an hour and we'll talk about where you're stuck. Because people come to me as they do you, right? When they're stuck, whether it's business or relationship, and right. So mine is relationship dynamic. So right, always the same ending. Never find the right guy. Never find the right girl. What's wrong with me? Right. So in that call, we go into basically childhood trauma because we all have it. And masculine women are traumatized as a little girl, and they can't grow into their feminine. Feminine men traumatized in childhood. No daddy, bad daddy, blah blah. Right. It's always the same. But you understand, in 15 minutes, we can actually go right to where the wheels came off as for you in childhood, and realize you're a product of your past, and you're not broken, right? And through the work that I do with trauma release the trauma that you actually kind of now a choice, you're present, like that loop isn't driving you anymore. What's the dream life, right? Family, kids, children, like, right? What's all the possibilities on this side? Long-term companionship, right? So Andre Coaching 1, talk now. We have a conversation. No pressure. This is who I am. I'll give you, I get paid for this, but this one is I'm just a gift, right? Have a conversation. And then we'll talk about if you want to jump in, small, medium, large. There's a bunch of ways to start to learn this stuff. If you want the relationship life to work, because if you follow the culture, the culture right now is going against nature, and going against nature will cost you everything. Nature always wins. So I'm just saying.
100%. Yeah, man. I love it. Love it. Thank you for the work that you do. Thanks for being on the show. This has been a really, really good conversation and another true testimony of breakthrough. Until next time, this is the Unstuck Movement.